What's up, guys? It's Ryu from Team DDD here, and I just came to give you my my Dragon Maid Bystial branded deck. Drip asked me to put it on the channel for you guys. It's what I took the locals last week. I won every game except for the one draw I did, which was against his Shizu tier, which is because it's a Shizu tier. This deck is really good. I think it's spicy. Dragon Maids give branded a little bit more of an to it. Gives you an Omni negate. Lets you push more stuff, and Bystial just synergizes really well with both the decks. But yeah, this is a deck I took to locals. I beat Salad. What was it? I beat Salmon Great, Ninjas, a rank 4 spam, and then I drew with the Shizu tier. Game 1 was, I went first and I opened really good, and if you open really good with this deck, it's really hard to lose. So, but yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get right into it. So we're going to start with the Dragon Maids. I'm going to do this by engines just because I feel like it's easier to do it that way. So for the Dragon Maids, I play 3 Chamber. So Chamber's the best one. Essentially, it lets you search out your spells and traps, so you can search like Tiding, or you can search Changeover, whatever you need. It's also dark, so you can send it off Branded Fusion, which does come up if you discarded Tiding for like Lubellion or whatnot to fusion summon. You can use the Tiding to summon this back, and then do Dragon Maid combos right after you do your branded combos. I also play 2 Parlor. Parlor is very good too. Parlor Foolish Burials, so she would like send Tiding, or she could send Changeover and put it back to your hand and summon. She's very good because she's not a dark, so essentially she cannot be Bystialed. The only thing that really sucks about Chamber is she can get Bystial, but Parlor does essentially the exact same thing that Chamber does. It's basically just getting you to your Dragon Maid engine and plays. So that's for the Dragon Maid monsters. For the Dragon Maid spells and traps, I play 1 Changeover and 1 Hospitality. So Hospitality is Monster Reborn, Changeover is Fusion Summon. You can also send it to the graveyard with Parlor, or if it gets milled, you can bounce back a Dragon Maid monster, and then you can use it. It's just polymerization for them, essentially. And then I played 3 Tiding. This card's very good, because it summons your Dragon Maid monsters back from your graveyard, and it's also an interruption with Bystials. And you can also put the Lubellion back in your hand. And if you put your Lubellion back in your hand, you can just send it to like get Magnemite or whatnot. It has a lot of versatility in the deck, and then just discarding it off, like I said, like discarding it for Lubellion to fusion summon, just small things like that, getting in your graveyard during your combo, and then being able to bring your Dragon Maids back in Dragon Maid combo. It's very good. So that is it for the Dragon Maid engine. Like I said, it's a small engine, but it's very effective. And then for the Bystials, I played, of course, Triple Lubellion. This card's broke. It's a very good monster. Just being able to discard it just to have more hand advantage, or being able to bring it back from the graveyard with an inherit summon and then putting a pop on the board. It's very nice. And being able to, like I said, bounce it back with Tiding and use it again the next turn is also very good. Then the other best ones, 3 Magnemite. This is basically you need to play 3 of this if you're playing Bystials. Lets you search any Bystial in your deck. So at the end phase, you can search anything, and it also lets you search like Dragon Maid cards, which does come up sometimes. Lets you play on turn 0. Lets you actually be able to have follow up. It's very good. Then I played 2 Druisworm and 1 Saronir. Druisworm is very good. So send, and then you have Saronir. This comes up sometimes if you want to send like your rebranded, reset off branded beast, but it doesn't come up enough to where like the Druisworm is more important to me, because the Druisworm sending something, getting sent is so much just infinitely better in my opinion. That's just my opinion. That is it for the monsters of the Bystials, and then of course the rebranded and the branded beast. Just follow up and being able to pop cards. Setting them to the field for free is pretty nice. And then I played, the rest is kind of like a branded engine. It is branded essentially. So I played 2 Alibur. So the reason behind 2 Alibur is because you're already playing 5 normal summons in here with your Dragon Maids, and these are primarily what you want to normal summon. You mostly want to summon Alibur off like branded opening if you can, but just normal summoning and doing straightforward branded combos is also a thing. I just prefer to have only 2 of this because I don't want to draw multiple. Another reason for only 2 is because we're playing 2 Tragedy. Tragedy lets you search out the Aliber. Tragedy also lets you reset your branded fusion and whatnot and branded opening. Very, very good card. I like this at 2, and just being able to have this in my hand more than Aliber is nice, because discarding it for something is really good to be able to search the Aliber, search Adlib, and then be able to use the second effect. It's also good if this gets discarded and then you get to banish it with a Bystial of your own, and then you get to trigger your Bystial and trigger this. It's very, very good. Then, of course, the one Adlib. This is for if you ever Chimera your opponent. It came up once or twice. Being able to Chimera and then bring back the Mirror Jade is essential. You don't really need this card, per se. I just like having the utility of it at this point. And it's another thing to banish off Allure, if anything. Or it's just another thing to search off Tragedy, so you have 3 names. And then, of course, the obligatory, like, 2 Fallen of Albaz, because you're playing Branded Fusion. You have to send Albaz. It's also very good against, like, Dragon decks, being able to link it off, or, excuse me, set it and then just fusion a whole Dragon board off with them is also very, very good. So, for the branded spells and traps, I played the triple opening. This is very straightforward. This is how you do Bystial, Branded, Dragon Maid, essentially. So it lets you be able to normal summon your Dragon Maid, be able to summon your Allure, and be able to search your Branded Fusion, be able to do multiple combos at once. Of course, if you're playing Branded, you gotta play 3 Branded Fusion. It's the best fusion card in the game. Just being able to send monsters from your deck to summon something is very broke. Especially because you can send your Dragon Maid monsters like Dragon Maid Chamber, or you can send like Bystial Lubellion to do Lubellion plays. It's very, very, very good. Then I only play 1 branded in red. So the reason for only 1 branded in red right now is because Bystials exist. Bystials and the Shizu tier shuffling all your shit back. I really don't want to play multiple of this card to draw it in my hand and it'd be a dead card. Because if my opponent it's like I activate this and my opponent just banishes my target for it, it's just going to go to the graveyard and do nothing. Then I played 1 banishment. I like this really, really well. It's basically super poly. So you summon like your Albion back and you do like a dark monster. Or you can summon a monster back and use like a dark fusion monster and a dark monster on their field. It's very good. It's just being able to clear board space essentially and give you a better board presence. So that's all the branded spells and traps and the branded engine. The rest is like just generic cards. So I played 3 Allure of Darkness because this card's very good, banishing Tragedy or whatnot. I'm playing 45 cards, so I want to see my engine a bit more. I can understand the logic if I get Eradicator to not play this card, but like, I'm just trying to play it in the fact of like being able to have enough hand size and being able to outplay like tier and whatnot and being able to keep up. And just being able to like banish like a Tragedy and being able to search a Aliber is just very, very good. And just drawing 2 is nice. 3 super poly. It's super poly. If you're playing anything that's like fusion based or anything that just has extra deck cards, you just get to fusion poly their stuff off and then you get to have a greater board presence on your end. It's a very, very good card. Then I played 2 Droplet because Droplet's very good and you're playing a spell deck. So activating a spell and then sending a spell with it and maybe another card in your hand to just negate multiple cards is very good. It also helps against like tier stuff, or if you're playing against like Sprite or something, anything with a big board presence, just discard cards to just try and stay alive. And I put 1 Foolish Barrel just to send Tragedy or send Chamber sometimes if I have the Tiding in my hand and discard it. It's multiple uses. It's a very good card in this deck. So that is it for the main deck, and like I said, it's like 45 cards, I believe. It's very good. It's very, very fun. There's a lot of interaction in it. And then for the extra deck, Field Center and tokens, blah, blah. So for the extra deck, I play 2 Link monsters, and that's Striker, Dragon, and Seals. So this is for the chances that you draw like the branded and red, or you don't get the branded fusion and you just have Bystials and Dragon Maids. It's essentially just letting you, like, say you get Chamber, you search Hospitality, link the Chamber and the Striker, Hospitality, bring it back, and then make Seals. Or if you get Parlor, summon Parlor, send Tiding, link into Striker Dragon, banish the Tiding to summon back the Parlor, link into Spears. Heavenly Spears is a very, very good card. Because you can summon Druisworm off of it, or you can summon like Lubellion and whatnot. Just being able to summon just monsters in general to be able to do something is just stupid. And you could also do it with the, I believe it's the Albaz you can do it with as well. Yes, you can do the Albaz as well because it's a dragon, which is really good. And just being able to summon the Albaz off of it and then being able to discard a card and super volley a board is very, very good. It's just, essentially, if you don't open branded cards is what this is for. So as for Dragon Maid stuff, we play one shoe, one house. So I didn't have the second shoe come up when I was playing because usually if I make the first shoe and go into this, it's usually game at that point if I can resolve it, because it's just like, this is an Omni Negate that tags into this thing, and it's already a 3,000 attack monster that gets you more Dragon Maid cards back. And basically, if this Omni Negate resolves and I'm able to make them pass their turn, I'm going to kill them, essentially. So I didn't feel the need for the second shoe, but it can come up, I guess. But this is just how I preferred to have it. So for branded cards, we had, let's see, so 2 Albion. So Albion's very good just for summoning up branded fusion, and it's also necessary to have 2 because you send the other one off of Mirror Jade and being able to set your cards back. Some people play 3 in like the main branded deck, which if that's your full combo, that's just completely understandable, but it's just trying to cut space in this extra deck. I felt 2 is plenty, especially because we're playing the Albalentus. So after that, we also play 2 Mirror Jade. 2 Mirror Jade is essential, basically. So the first one is going to get resolved, and then the next one is if you summon it off of the Lubellion again on your extra deck. It comes up to where you need the second one to banish like tier monsters like Kit Kalos and what's his name, Kaleido Heart. Or it comes with like banishing just like random monsters in general. It outs a lot of problem cards in this game. It outs whatever Sprite Alpha's pointing to. It's just a very, very good card. Then I played for the one branded cards. One Lubellion, you can shuffle it back. It recycles itself the whole time. You don't need more than one. One Albalentus, just to be able to send off either Mirror Jade or being able to fuse a whole board away. One Masquerade for time, essentially. I never made this because it never got to the point where I needed to make this. But it's literally just in here for time. And then one Guardian Chimera for the branded in red, which exists. Just being able to summon this and pop 2 cards, or summon this, pop 1 card, draw 2 cards is very, very good. And then the last things on the extra deck is Super Poly cards. So 1 Garura, 1 Mundragon of the Swamp, and 1 Dracopelio. It's Super Poly cards, essentially. Super Poly for dragons, blah, 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 you know. Just trying to clear board and then get monsters on there. It's very nice. Being able to summon this off of Banishment is also very good. And just being able to have a monster gate. But yeah, that's just Super Poly, essentially. So I was touching this deck for a long time, and I think this build is how I like it the best so far. But just trying to mix everything. I didn't like pure Dragon Maid's Bystial because it basically just revolves around using your hand traps to try and play on your opponent's turn, which isn't bad at all, but I just like having more interaction, being able to play more on my turn than just making a Seals or an Omni Negate and whatnot. And like I said, the extra deck was fine. Anything I would change might be like a second shoe, but that's like very like negligible. You don't really need to worry about that in my opinion. Side deck isn't really important. It's just whatever you're playing against locals. Like if you play like Eradicator or whatnot evenly, just cards you need to be able to help you win. It just depends on what you play at locals. But yeah, that is Dragon Maid branded Bystial. It's a very fun deck if you want to give it a try. If you like dragons and you like just being able to play branded, I guess it's very good. But yeah, that is my deck list, and I hope you guys enjoy. Thank you guys for watching, and subscribe on the bottom.